July 15, 2023, 10:47 a.m. Security cameras at Cedar Point Amusement Park in Sandusky, Ohio, capture a family of 4 walking through the main entrance gates. They look like any other family starting a summer day at one of America's premier amusement parks. The father, Marcus Holloway, 37 years old, carries a blue backpack, baseball cap, sunglasses, casual shorts, and a t-shirt. He's scanning tickets on his phone at the entrance turnstile. The mother, Jennifer Holloway, 35, holds the hand of their 6-year-old daughter, Emma. Jennifer's wearing a sundress and comfortable sandals. Emma has pigtails and is clutching a stuffed animal. She looks excited, bouncing slightly as they walk. Their 8-year-old son, Caleb, runs ahead toward the midway. His excitement is palpable, pointing at roller coasters, tugging his father's arm, begging to ride the biggest ones first. A normal family, a normal Saturday morning, beginning what should be a normal day of fun. Security footage tracks them through the park. Timestamp 11:03 a.m. They're in line for the Millennium Force roller coaster. Caleb is measuring himself against the height requirement sign. He's tall enough, barely. He's thrilled. Timestamp 12:34 p.m. They're eating lunch at a picnic area. Marcus and Jennifer are talking. Emma is coloring an activity book. Caleb is drinking a soda. Timestamp 2:17 p.m. They're watching a show at the outdoor amphitheater. All 4 visible, sitting together. Emma on Jennifer's lap, Caleb next to Marcus. Timestamp 4:52 p.m. They're walking toward the parking lot. Earlier than most families. Park doesn't close until 10 p.m., but they're leaving. Marcus carries Emma on his shoulders. She looks tired. Caleb walks beside Jennifer. They exit through the main gates. Security cameras capture them walking across the parking lot. Row F, Section 12. They approach a dark blue Honda Pilot, Ohio plates. Marcus unlocks it. They all get in. Marcus driver's seat, Jennifer passenger, kids in back. Seatbelts, normal procedure. The Honda pulls out of the parking space, drives toward the exit, passes through the parking toll booth. Security camera captures the license plate clearly. Ohio registration, number visible. Timestamp 5:04 p.m. The Honda Pilot exits Cedar Point property, turns left onto Cleveland Road, heading toward the Causeway Bridge that connects the park to the mainland. That's the last confirmed sighting of the Holloway family. 12 hours later, the Honda Pilot would be found abandoned in a rest area 80 miles away. Doors locked, keys on the driver's seat, Jennifer's purse on the passenger floor, Marcus's wallet in the center console, Emma's stuffed animal on the back seat. Caleb's tablet still playing a video game, battery nearly dead. No blood, no signs of struggle, no indication of what happened to the family of 4 who'd simply vanished. This case would baffle investigators for 9 months, until a traffic camera in a small Ohio town captured something that changed everything. A frame of footage showing a police officer who shouldn't have been there, doing something he absolutely shouldn't have been doing. And when investigators finally unraveled the truth, they discovered that the Holloway family hadn't randomly disappeared. They'd been specifically targeted, hunted, by someone they'd trusted completely, by someone wearing a badge. Marcus and Jennifer Holloway met at Ohio State University in 2006. Both were business majors. They had mutual friends. Started dating junior year. Married in 2010 after graduation. Marcus got a job in pharmaceutical sales. Jennifer worked in marketing for a healthcare company. They settled in Columbus, Ohio, bought a small house in a suburban neighborhood, started building their life together. Caleb was born in 2015, Emma in 2017. Marcus and Jennifer were devoted parents, involved in their kids' schools, coached soccer, volunteered for PTA. Normal middle-class family living a comfortable life. Marcus was successful in sales, made good money. Jennifer had reduced to part-time work after Emma was born, wanted to be more present for the kids. They could afford it with Marcus's income. They were careful people, safety conscious. They had a security system at home, always locked doors, taught their kids about stranger danger, did everything parents are supposed to do to keep their children safe. In July 2023, they planned a weekend trip to Cedar Point. The kids had been begging to go. Caleb wanted to ride the big roller coasters. Emma wanted to see the shows and meet costumed characters. Marcus made reservations at a hotel near the park for Friday and Saturday nights. They'd drive up Friday afternoon, spend all day Saturday at the park, drive home Sunday morning. Simple family vacation, something they'd done before to other parks and attractions. No reason to expect anything unusual. July 14th, 2023, Friday afternoon. The Holloway family left Columbus at 3 p.m., 2-hour drive to Sandusky. They checked into their hotel around 5:30, Holiday Inn Express off Route 250. Standard chain hotel, clean, safe, family-friendly. Security cameras at the hotel captured their arrival. Marcus carrying luggage, Jennifer herding the kids, check-in process, walking to their room on the second floor, room 237. They had dinner at a nearby restaurant, Applebee's, returned to the hotel by 8 p.m., swam in the pool. Kids played in the water while Marcus and Jennifer supervised. Back to their room by 9 p.m., lights out by 10, normal evening. Saturday morning, July 15th. Security cameras show the family leaving their hotel room at 9:30 a.m., dressed for the park. Sunscreen applied, backpack packed with water bottles and snacks. They checked out, loaded luggage in their Honda, drove to Cedar Point, arrived at 10:30, parked, walked to entrance. Everything captured on multiple cameras. Nothing suspicious, nothing unusual. Their day at the park was similarly normal. They rode rides, ate overpriced theme park food, watched shows, took photos, exactly what families do. But then they left early, 4:52 p.m. Most families stay until closing, get their money's worth, but the Holloways left mid-afternoon. Why? That question would haunt investigators for months. Jennifer's sister later testified that Jennifer had texted her at 4:30 p.m., said Emma wasn't feeling well, might be too much sun. They were going to head back to Columbus early, skip the second hotel night, just drive home. Jennifer's final text, Emma's tired and cranky, we're heading home, call you tomorrow. That text was sent at 4:33 p.m., 17 minutes before the family walked to their car. No texts after that, no phone calls, nothing. The Honda Pilot exited Cedar Point at 5:04 p.m. Should have taken about 2 hours to reach Columbus. Simple drive, Route 2 to I-90 to Route 71 south, well-traveled highways. But they never arrived home. Sunday morning, July 16th. Jennifer's sister called, no answer. Called again, no answer. Tried Marcus's phone, straight to voicemail. She tried the hotel. They'd checked out Saturday morning as planned. Hadn't extended their stay. She drove to the Holloway house. Their car wasn't in the driveway. House looked empty. She had a key. Went inside. No one home. Nothing unusual. Just empty. She called police. Filed a missing persons report. Family of 4 hadn't returned from vacation. Phones off. Not answering calls. Columbus Police Department took the report. Started investigating. Pinged cell phones. Last location for both Jennifer and Marcus's phones was near Sandusky around 5:15 p.m. Saturday. Then nothing. Phones either turned off or destroyed. Police contacted Ohio State Highway Patrol. Requested BOLO for the Honda Pilot. Be on lookout. Family possibly in distress. At 3:47 p.m. Sunday, a highway patrol officer found the Honda. Rest area off I-71 south, about 80 miles south of Cedar Point. Roughly the halfway point between Sandusky and Columbus. The vehicle was locked, parked in a standard spot, not hidden, not abandoned carelessly, just parked like someone had stopped to use the restroom, but no family around. Officer waited 30 minutes. No one returned to the vehicle. He ran the plates, matched the BOLO, called it in. Columbus police and FBI were notified immediately. This was now a critical missing persons case. Family of 4, including 2 small children. Evidence teams processed the Honda, found everything I mentioned earlier. Purse, wallet, stuffed animal, tablet, no blood, no weapons, no signs of violence or struggle. Keys were on the driver's seat. Driver's door had been unlocked from inside. Someone had deliberately left the keys where they'd be found. Surveillance cameras at the rest area showed the Honda arriving at 6:23 p.m. Saturday. Parking. But the cameras didn't cover that specific parking spot. Couldn't see who exited the vehicle or what happened next. Cameras at the rest area entrance showed the Honda entering, but they were angled for license plate capture. Couldn't see through the windshield. Couldn't identify how many people were in the vehicle. No cameras showed the Honda leaving, because it never left. It was still there. So somewhere between Cedar Point at 5:04 p.m. and the rest area at 6:23 p.m., something happened. 79 minutes, 80 miles. And then the family vanished. Search teams scoured the rest area and surrounding woods, cadaver dogs, helicopter thermal imaging, ground searches with volunteers. Nothing. No trace of the Holloway family. FBI interviewed everyone who'd been at Cedar Point that day, showed photos of the family. Did anyone remember seeing them? Did anyone notice anything unusual? Hundreds of people remembered seeing them. Theme parks are crowded, but no one remembered anything suspicious, just a normal family having a normal day. FBI pulled all security footage from Cedar Point, traced the family's movements throughout the day, looking for anyone following them, anyone paying unusual attention, any interaction that seemed off. Nothing. The Holloways spent the day alone as a family. No one approached them. No one followed them. No suspicious people in their vicinity. FBI interviewed hotel staff. Had anyone at the Holiday Inn noticed anything unusual? Any suspicious people? Any interaction with the family? Nothing. Staff remembered checking them in, remembered seeing them at the pool. Normal guests. No problems. No concerns. The investigation expanded. FBI looked into Marcus's job. Any angry clients? Any disputes? Any reason someone would target him? Nothing. Marcus was a good salesman, well-liked. No enemies, no financial problems, no gambling debts, no affairs, nothing that would make him a target. Jennifer's background was equally clean. Good employee, loving mother, active in community, no enemies, no problems, no secrets. Extended family was investigated. Any custody disputes? Any family conflicts that could explain an abduction? Nothing. The Holloways got along with everyone. No restraining orders, no court cases, no drama. Days turned into weeks. Weeks into months. The case went cold. Media coverage faded. The FBI continued investigating but had no leads. No suspects, no evidence, just a family that had vanished. Until March 2024, 8 months after the disappearance. A traffic camera in Norwalk, Ohio captured something interesting. The camera was positioned at a busy intersection, automatically photographed every vehicle that ran a red light. On July 15, 2023, at 5:47 p.m., a vehicle ran the red light at that intersection. The camera captured the violation. License plate, driver's face. The vehicle was a white Ford Explorer, police vehicle, Norwalk Police Department. The driver was Officer Derek Walsh, 34 years old, 7 years with Norwalk PD, patrol officer, clean record, no disciplinary issues. The traffic camera photo was routine, generated a ticket, but the ticket was dismissed because it was a police vehicle responding to a call. Standard procedure. But when an FBI analyst was reviewing traffic camera data from July 15th, trying to track the Holloway family's route, she noticed something. The time, 5:47 p.m., 43 minutes after the Holloways left Cedar Point, 8 miles south of Cedar Point on Route 2, the same route the Holloways would have taken toward I-90 and then I-71 south toward Columbus. The analyst pulled Officer Walsh's duty logs for July 15th. He'd clocked in at 4 p.m., was assigned to patrol Route 2 corridor, should have been on duty in that area at that time. But the red light camera showed him driving fast enough to run a light, urgently, like he was pursuing something. The analyst dug deeper, pulled all traffic and security camera footage from Route 2 on July 15th between 5:04 p.m. when the Holloways left Cedar Point and 6:23 p.m. when their Honda arrived at the rest area. And she found something, a gas station security camera in Huron, Ohio, right off Route 2. Timestamp 5:38 p.m. A dark blue Honda Pilot pulling into the gas station. License plate visible, matched the Holloway vehicle. The Honda didn't stop for gas, just pulled through the parking lot, like someone was checking to see if they were being followed. And behind them, maintaining distance, a white Ford Explorer, police vehicle. The Honda pulled back onto Route 2, so did the Explorer, both heading south. The analyst found more footage. Another camera, 10 miles further south, convenience store. Timestamp 5:52 p.m. The Honda Pilot driving past, the white Ford Explorer maintaining distance behind. The Explorer was following them, deliberately, staying back far enough to not be obvious, but definitely following. The analyst brought this to her supervisor. They pulled Officer Derek Walsh's complete file, started investigating him. Derek Walsh was born in Cleveland, Ohio in 1989, grew up in a working-class neighborhood. Father was a factory worker, mother was a teacher's aide. Derek was an average student, Graduated high school in 2007. Didn't go to college, worked various jobs, retail, construction, security guard. Applied to police academy in 2015. Accepted. Graduated in 2016. Hired by Norwalk Police Department in January 2017. He was adequate as an officer. Not exceptional, not terrible. Passed evaluations. No major complaints. Few commendations. Just a regular patrol officer doing his job. He'd never been married, no children. Lived alone in a small rental house outside Norwalk. Kept to himself mostly. Few friends. Didn't socialize much with fellow officers. Background seemed normal. Nothing indicating he was capable of harming a family. But the traffic camera evidence showed he'd been following the Holloways. Why? FBI obtained warrants, phone records, financial records, property records, computer forensics. And they found something. Derek's computer search history. June 2023, multiple searches for Cedar Point, park hours, ticket prices, hotel recommendations near the park. July 2023, searches for family vacation Cedar Point. Where do families stay near Cedar Point? Route from Columbus to Cedar Point. July 12, 2023, specific searches for Marcus Holloway, Columbus, Ohio. Jennifer Holloway, Columbus. LinkedIn profiles viewed. Facebook accounts accessed. Derek Walsh had been researching the Holloway family specifically, before they'd even left for their vacation. But why? How did he even know about them? FBI dug deeper into Derek's background. His father, Robert Walsh, had died in 2019. Factory accident. Wrongful death lawsuit filed against the factory. The factory's insurance was handled by the company Jennifer Holloway worked for. She'd been assigned to the case, had reviewed the claim. Recommended denial based on evidence that Robert Walsh had violated safety protocols. The claim was denied. The Walsh family received nothing. Derek had been furious, blamed Jennifer, blamed her company, wrote angry emails, made threats. Jennifer had reported the threats to her employer, to police. Restraining order was filed in 2020. Derek was ordered to stay away from Jennifer, stop all contact. He complied. For 3 years, no contact, no violations. The restraining order expired in 2023. Jennifer had forgotten about it, moved on with her life. But Derek hadn't forgotten. He'd been planning, waiting, building towards something. Before we continue with how Derek executed his plan and where the Holloway family ended up, if cases like this matter to you, make sure you're subscribed and hit that notification bell. We expose predators who hide behind badges. We show how investigations solve impossible cases. We honor victims by telling their stories. Hit like if you think this deserves attention. Comment your thoughts. Because this is real, and what Derek Walsh did proves that patience and planning make predators even more dangerous. Derek Walsh spent 3 years planning his revenge against Jennifer Holloway. Not impulsive violence, calculated, patient, methodical. He monitored her social media. Jennifer's accounts were semi-public. She posted about her kids, her family, photos from school events, vacation plans. In early July 2023, Jennifer posted about their upcoming Cedar Point trip. Excited post about taking the kids, family vacation. She didn't include specific dates but mentioned mid-July. Derek started planning immediately. He knew Jennifer lived in Columbus, knew Cedar Point was a 2-hour drive, knew families typically stayed in hotels near the park. He took vacation time from work. July 14th through July 21st. Told his supervisor he was visiting family. No one questioned it. On July 14th, Derek drove to Sandusky, checked into a cheap motel, spent the evening driving around Cedar Point area, scouting hotels, looking for the Holloway vehicle. He found it Friday night. Holiday Inn Express parking lot. The dark blue Honda Pilot. Ohio plates matching what he'd found through vehicle registration searches. He waited, watched, saw the family return from dinner, saw them swim in the pool, confirmed it was them, Marcus, Jennifer, and 2 kids. Saturday morning, he followed them to Cedar Point. Didn't enter the park, just confirmed they were there. Then he waited in the parking lot. When they left at 4:52 p.m., Derek was ready. He followed them out of the parking lot, stayed several cars back. Professional surveillance. His plan was simple. Pull them over, use his police authority, get them out of their vehicle, then take them somewhere isolated. He followed them onto Route 2, waited for the right moment, somewhere with less traffic, somewhere he could act without witnesses. At 5:43 p.m. on a stretch of Route 2 between Huron and Vermilion, Derek activated his lights, pulled the Holloway vehicle over. This was captured on his dashcam, standard traffic stop footage, the kind reviewed in court later. The Honda Pilot pulls onto the shoulder. Derek's Explorer stops behind it. He approaches the driver's window. Standard procedure. Marcus rolls down the window, confused. He wasn't speeding, wasn't doing anything wrong. Derek's body camera captured the audio. "License and registration, please." Marcus complies, hands over his license, vehicle registration from the glove box. Derek examines them. Then, "Sir, your registration is expired. I'm going to need you and your passengers to step out of the vehicle." Marcus is confused. His registration isn't expired. He'd renewed it 2 months ago. But Derek is insistent, aggressive. Jennifer, recognizing something is wrong, tries to call 911. Derek sees her with the phone, demands she exit the vehicle immediately. What happens next is captured on dashcam, but Derek turned off his body camera, claimed later it malfunctioned. Derek drew his weapon, ordered the family out of the Honda, all 4 of them, hands visible, moved slowly. Marcus tried to comply while protecting his kids. Caleb was crying. Emma was terrified. Jennifer was pleading. "Please, we didn't do anything wrong. We have children." Derek forced them at gunpoint to walk to his Explorer. He opened the back compartment, the cargo area. He forced all 4 of them inside, tight space, uncomfortable, terrifying. He closed the hatch, locked it. Then he drove, south on Route 2, then I-90 west, away from Columbus, away from civilization. He drove for about 40 minutes, to a property he'd purchased 2 years earlier. Rural, isolated, farm property in Ashland County, miles from the nearest neighbor. The property had an old barn, unused, perfect for what Derek had planned. He pulled the Explorer into the barn, closed the doors, opened the cargo hatch. The Holloway family was in shock, terrified. Marcus demanded answers. "Why are you doing this? We didn't do anything." Derek's response was cold. "Ask your wife." Jennifer understood immediately. "Oh my God, the insurance claim, your father. That was years ago. I was just doing my job." Derek's voice was emotionless. "My father is dead because of you. Your company denied his claim. We got nothing. And I've spent 3 years thinking about what you owe me." Marcus tried to reason with him. "Please, we have kids. This isn't their fault. Let them go. Do whatever you want to us. Just let our kids go." Derek refused. He'd planned this too carefully, thought it through too thoroughly. No witnesses, no loose ends. What happened over the next 12 hours was reconstructed through Derek's later confession and forensic evidence found at the property. Derek kept the family in the barn, restrained. He'd brought supplies, rope, duct tape, water. He wasn't keeping them alive long term, just long enough to make Jennifer understand what she'd taken from him. He forced Jennifer to watch as he hurt her family. Psychological torture, making her feel responsible, making her suffer the way he'd suffered. By early Sunday morning, all 4 members of the Holloway family were dead. The details of how they died are not something I'll describe here. The medical examiner's reports were graphic, disturbing, sufficient to say it was violent and cruel. Derek buried them on the property. 4 graves in the woods behind the barn, shallow but concealed. He'd planned the locations in advance. Then he drove back to the rest area where he'd left the Honda Pilot. He'd driven it there after the traffic stop, parked it, locked it, left the keys inside, created a false trail making it look like the family had stopped there and then disappeared. He returned to the barn in the Explorer, cleaned everything, burned items that couldn't be buried, tried to eliminate evidence. Then he went home, back to his rental house, back to his life, waited for news of the missing family. For 8 months, his plan worked. No one suspected him. No one connected him to the Holloways. His name never came up in investigations. Until that traffic camera photo. That one red light violation captured on an automated camera. That one piece of evidence linking him to the Holloways route at the exact time they disappeared. FBI arrested Derek Walsh on March 23, 2024, charged with 4 counts of kidnapping and suspicion of murder. No bodies found yet, but evidence mounting. Derek refused to talk initially, requested attorney, prepared to fight, but FBI had evidence. The traffic cameras, his internet searches, his connection to Jennifer through his father's insurance claim, his vacation time aligning with the disappearance. his dashcam footage of the traffic stop, and they had the property. FBI obtained warrant, searched the farm, brought cadaver dogs, ground-penetrating radar, forensic teams. On March 28th, they found the graves, 4 bodies, 2 adults, 2 children. Identification through dental records confirmed. Marcus Holloway, Jennifer Holloway, Caleb Holloway, Emma Holloway. Derek's attorney advised him to cooperate. The evidence was overwhelming. Death penalty was likely unless he provided information and showed remorse. Derek confessed, detailed confession, explained his motivation, his planning, his execution, how he'd researched them, followed them, used his police authority to stop them, how he'd taken them to the barn, what he'd done there. He showed no remorse during the confession, described everything clinically, like he was reporting a case instead of admitting to murdering a family, including 2 small children. The trial began in September 2024. The evidence was presented methodically. Traffic cameras, search history, property records, dashcam footage, forensic evidence from the barn, cause of death reports from the medical examiner. The defense tried to argue mental illness, claimed Derek had been consumed by grief over his father's death, had snapped, wasn't in his right mind. The prosecution countered with evidence of planning, 3 years of preparation, internet research, property purchase, waiting for the right opportunity. This wasn't a snap decision. This was calculated murder. The jury deliberated for 2 days. November 14th, 2024. Verdicts returned. Derek Walsh, guilty on all counts. 4 counts of first-degree murder, 4 counts of kidnapping, abuse of authority, use of official position to commit crimes. Sentencing came 2 weeks later. The judge's statement was devastating. Mr. Walsh, you were a police officer. You took an oath to protect and serve. Instead, you used your position to hunt and kill a family. Marcus and Jennifer Holloway took their children on a vacation, a simple trip to an amusement park. They did nothing wrong. They had no idea you harbored a grudge over an insurance claim from years earlier. You targeted them, followed them, used your badge and gun to force them off the road. You kidnapped them. You took them to an isolated location, and you murdered them. All 4 of them, including 2 children who'd done nothing to you, who didn't even know who you were. Caleb was 8 years old. Emma was 6. They died because you blamed their mother for doing her job, for making a decision about an insurance claim she was assigned to evaluate. This wasn't justice. This wasn't even revenge. This was evil. The court sentences you to life without possibility of parole for each count of murder. Sentences to run consecutively. You will die in prison. Derek Walsh is currently incarcerated at Mansfield Correctional Institution in Ohio. Maximum security, protective custody. Even in prison, former cops are targets. Other inmates don't tolerate officers who've committed heinous crimes. He's filed appeals, all denied. He'll never be free. The Norwalk Police Department launched an internal investigation. How had Derek Walsh operated without detection? What systems had failed? The investigation revealed multiple failures. Derek's threatening emails to Jennifer in 2020 should have resulted in termination. Instead, he received a warning. The restraining order should have triggered more scrutiny. It didn't. His vacation request for the same time the Holloways disappeared should have raised red flags after they went missing. No one made the connection. His traffic stop of the Holloways was logged in his duty reports, but the dashcam footage wasn't reviewed until after his arrest. Standard procedure would have been to review footage of every traffic stop. It wasn't done. The department implemented new oversight, mandatory dashcam and body camera review, psychological evaluations every 2 years, closer monitoring of officers with grievances against civilians. Changes that came too late for the Holloway family. Jennifer's employer, the insurance company, also faced scrutiny. Should they have done more to protect Jennifer after Derek's threats? Should they have monitored the situation better? Civil suits were filed, settled for undisclosed amounts, money that couldn't bring the family back, but acknowledged institutional failures. The Holloway family is buried together in Columbus. Single plot, 4 headstones. Marcus, Jennifer, Caleb, Emma. Their graves are visited regularly by extended family and friends. A foundation was established in their memory, the Holloway Family Safety Foundation, advocating for better protection for people targeted by those with grievances, training for how to recognize threatening behavior, resources for victims of stalking and harassment. Because Jennifer had reported Derek's threats, had obtained a restraining order, had done what she was supposed to do, and it wasn't enough. If this case affected you, hit that subscribe button. Leave a comment. Share your thoughts on police accountability and victim protection. This channel exposes predators regardless of position, honors victims by telling their stories, shows how justice works even when systems fail. Hit like if you believe this deserves attention. Share if you think people need to understand that badges don't guarantee safety. Derek Walsh used his position to hunt a family, used his authority to stop them, used his gun to control them, used his planning to hide their bodies. He's in prison now, but the Holloway family is still gone. Marcus was 37, had dreams, plans, a future. Jennifer was 35, a mother, a professional, someone who'd simply done her job. Caleb was 8, had just finished 2nd grade, loved roller coasters, died before getting to ride the ones he'd been so excited about. Emma was 6, loved stuffed animals, died clutching one in a rest area parking lot before her body was taken to a barn and buried in the woods. Remember their names. Remember that revenge destroys everything. Remember that people in positions of authority can be the most dangerous predators of all. Thank you for watching, for caring, for demanding accountability from those who swear to protect us. Derek Walsh was supposed to serve and protect. Instead, he planned and murdered. Justice was served, but 4 innocent people still died. This was their story. This is why we fight for accountability. This is why we never stop seeking justice. The Holloway family did everything right. They reported threats, obtained legal protection, went on with their lives, and they were murdered by someone who waited 3 years for the perfect opportunity. Cedar Point security footage shows them happy, excited, a normal family on a normal vacation. 12 hours later, they were dead, because Derek Walsh valued revenge more than human life, more than the innocence of children, more than basic morality. He's in prison now, where he belongs, where he'll die. And the Holloway family's memory lives on, in a foundation, in policy changes, in the hearts of everyone who loved them. Rest in peace, Marcus, Jennifer, Caleb, and Emma Holloway. You deserved so much better than what happened on July 15, 2023.